Good morning once again. Yeah, we can take advantage of this middle column. All right, we're going to get started as others are joining. Also others
Good morning once again.
have joined online. Yeah, all right, so we are going to start with our introductions. Yeah, we're going to start with our students, then we shall introduce ourselves after. Yeah, you tell us about you, especially the development side. Yeah, so you give us your name, maybe the languages you're familiar with, the kind of apps in case you've developed. It's not that everyone should be like a good developer, but just in case you've worked on something, you can let us know. Yeah. Okay, so let's start maybe from behind there. Okay. Yes, you can stand up. All right, thank you. Yes.
Also done some works on others of the title. Last year was a work of done some PhD originator. You know, also published some such paper. This kind of predictive food security and wanting to contextualize it to the very important. That is listed on machine learning, and then train over 15 models, and then deploy the model as a project. Also had some other projects I worked on in the twice use space where we are building a lot of this kind of successful services. I've also we are working on crowdfunding projects still. Like Sabi told platform crowdfunding. So basically, that is it about me. And I was studying we shall be able to know about different capabilities we have, and also here and learn and analyze what I need.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing. Yes. Good morning.
Graduate, Mission Technology. I have worked in Python I made a good, one part. And I've also, hi. My aspirations are very high. My state of privilege, when with the chance.
Oh. Good morning.
Sir, good morning.
Recording in progress.
My name is Nixon, recent graduate of Computer. Yeah.
At least so that also those who are on that. Okay. So I'm going to repeat. My name is Amina Nixon, a recent graduate of computer engineering at Makerere University. My passions lie in cybersecurity, data science, and embedded systems. Currently, I've so far worked on a few projects. For example, Myra, which is a Luganda-based voice assistant that enables users to interact with a standalone voice assistant like a smart speaker to ask questions and to get feedback in Luganda and English. So it's a work in progress, but so far the first prototype is out. And yeah, and another one is a smart irrigation system that automates the irrigation schedules based on sensor data collected from the farms and all that. Yeah. But now that's it.
Morning, everyone. My name is Mwangu Samuel, computer science second year student. I'm so happy to be here. Yes, for me, I've worked with front-end development languages like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and with an introduction to machine learning, which we have covered this semester. And in the due course, we have done a project that estimates moisture content in wooden joists that are used in buildings. So this is a great opportunity for me to get to know deeper about AI, machine learning, and data science. Yes, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Gafau Sawile. I'm a fourth year software engineering student, so I've just completed my course, waiting to present my project on Thursday. I've worked with JavaScript, PHP, Python, Java. Basically, in JavaScript, I'm familiar with frameworks like React, Express, and then Python, I do Django and Flask. And then I've worked with JUnit in Java. I've worked with, I also know Flutter, and then machine learning. Most of the projects currently I'm working with, I'm building their state management system, still in the pipeline. I think by the end of this month, it will be done. And then the machine learning part of it, my final project is about polyworm detection, sponsored by the, it's sponsored by NARO, we are going to present it, and then because they liked our project, that's why we did our data collection. So after our presentation, we are going to take it to them. They intend to deploy it to be used by Ugandan farmers. So it's a foliarworm detection. It detects foliarworm in maize crops. So basically that was my first journey in machine learning because I applied it in my final year project. So I'm happy to be here and I hope to collaborate with everyone. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. My name is Victor Maunere. I have just completed my computer science course at ISPAT. I am happy to be here. I'm here to learn. Conversant with a number of languages, but I would say Python for now because I'm mainly focusing on data science. Yeah, that is where I'm at.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Vanessa Kendo. I've also just finished my third year at ISBAT University. I'm conversant in Java and Flutter, and I hope to get more into mobile application and data science and AI.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aine Mgabe Hilary. I'm a third year electrical engineering student at this college. My first encounter with programming was with C++, doing a bit of systems programming relative to my field. My newbie in Python and R are mostly active at Zindi, competing in a few competitions here and there. I'm glad to be here. I can't wait to be started.
Morning, everyone. My name is Beranga Johnson. I'm a chemical engineer, finished chemical engineering. The reason why I decided to be a part of this, I worked with a team on a project called LocalLink, contextualizing such a security system of Uganda locally. It was called LocalLink. We have not yet just uploaded it, but I worked with Council Code about that. So currently, I'm working with the Ministry of Health about a hybridization of neurosurgery clinics. I'm looking at a case study with IHK and Mulago Hospital. So the reason why I wanted to be part of this is my goal is to engage in what we call predictive drug development using AI and data science and smart manufacturing. Thank you so much.
Morning to everyone. I'm Karima Rogers, soon to be a graduate in Information Systems and Technology. I'm Karima Rogers, soon to be a graduate in Information Systems and Technology from courses, School of Computing. And the language I'm familiar with is Django, Python, React, JavaScript, and I've developed a booking appointment system for medical hospital. Currently, but on my final year project, I'm working on a blood donation and management system. And I'll be presenting it soon as my final year project.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. My name is Marvin Winnie. I'm also a finalist who did my computer science from Makerere University. The languages I'm familiar with are Python, PHP, I know JavaScript as well. Then the frameworks, there's Django, Flask, CodeIgniter, that's in PHP. Then Next.js, yeah. I also love data science, and I'm glad to be here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pokemon Paul Mark. I'm a software engineering student at courses here too. Some of my interests include cloud computing development, that is web, mobile, and also
some of the projects I've done is the pharmacy management system, which was using Laravel PHP. And I also do Flutter. Currently, I'm doing a project for bus ticketing for booking it online using an app. Thank you so much. I'm also interested in data science. That's why I'm here. Currently learning Python. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bonya Michelle Mina, and I'm currently done with my second year doing computer science at Makerere University, and I'm conversant with Python. I know a bit of C, and I've been able to develop a Flutter app, a donation app using Flutter. And then also, I've had an introduction to machine learning, and I've been part of a team that was able to develop a segmentation model that helps in the early diagnosis of an eye disease. That's it, and I'm happy to be part of this, and I hope to learn a lot. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Namwanga Aisha, a finalist computer science from Makerere University. I've worked with Python, PHP, and some bit of machine learning. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Arinda Johnson, computer science. Well, my major focus is AI and embedded systems, and with AI, we've been trying to learn with Python, since it's the more extensively supported language. And for embedded, I've been trying the Rust programming language. Otherwise, that's all.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carol Ann Treasure. I'm conversant with Java, Python, and I've also worked with Flutter, building. I'm contributing to the Aircore mobile app. And I've also worked with also PHP. I also contributed with my group in building an insurance management system. With Python, I'm more of a beginner, and I'm excited to learn from you guys. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you all. We're going to have those who are online also introduce themselves, then we can get started with the presentation. Yes, for the students who are online, can you introduce yourself? Only the students.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Paul. I'm currently pursuing a degree in computer science at Egerton University first year. I'm passionate about coding, especially in Python, C++, and C.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alan Kamau. I'm a student at JKUAT second year. I am conversant in JavaScript, HTML, CSS. I do React Native and React.js as the frameworks for JavaScript. So yeah, I'm happy to be here, and I'd like to learn more about machine learning. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yes, next.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Am I being heard that side? Hello.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, my name is Henry Senyonjo. I've just completed my final year exams at Makerere University. I've been doing computer science. Yes, the languages I'm good at, Python, I've done it. I've done Node.js and Express.js. I've done some front end works with some company called Ticketio, and I was the lead front end developer, and I was using React. And then I've done also some machine learning, and I've done several projects in machine learning. Yeah, basically, I'm excited to be part of this and gain more knowledge that will be
Okay,
shared.
thank you. All right, thank you. Yes, any other student left? Yes, and
but I'm passionate about the languages or one of the things that have some great knowledge by them. So like I'll be joining this.
okay, though we didn't get you clearly, maybe your network or microphone. Okay, so right now we're going to have a presentation, yeah, from someone. Yeah, he's going to fully introduce himself, but what you should know is very technical and he has a lot of experience. So if you have any questions for him, you should feel free to ask him. Yeah, yes, please.
So the presentation is going to be live.
Yeah, yeah. So,
and the microphone is here, right?
The microphone is on the C.
Okay, so I need to stay roughly somewhere here.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so how do I move between slides? Okay, good. So hello everyone, very happy to be here. Happy to have listened to you talking about yourself, and happy to hear like a breadth of experience amongst yourself, although some of you might be saying you've not done anything. I mean, I think you've done a lot by even being here. So today's presentation is actually not going to be technical. I am a technical person. I'll tell you a little bit more about this. But today's presentation is really to tell you why you are here and what you can do about that and how not to give up. So what I'm going to talk about today is I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. Because my story was not a typical, I don't know, graduate and then a IT career story. I wanted to do things myself. And especially having been here in Uganda, I know that you do struggle a lot, that you're in very, very tough position here. Life is so much harder for you than it is for us in Europe. But I've been through a journey where I struggled a lot. It was partially by my own choice. I wanted to do things myself, but I want to inspire you a little bit to also like pick fighting for your future. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to share with you another story, which was actually subject to a Hollywood film about Major Charity Adams. And I'm going to share a little bit of context of what's happening in East Africa and how the world, when it comes to the future, and where you should really take this. What's next for you in terms of you are here today, but what do you do with the knowledge that you have? What do you do with the knowledge that you're about to gain, and how you use the you could use. I'm going to really base the presentation on my own experiences and a little bit subjectively around how I see the world, but I'm really hoping to inspire you. So in terms of a little bit of introduction to myself. So I was born in Poland. I'm actually Polish. So I was born, do we see the cursor? Yes. So this is where I was born, in a little town. Actually, the town is here, but this is where I grew up. In a small village, 1,000 citizens, beautiful nature around us. It was very quiet. And when I was growing up, it was like unheard of traveling abroad. Like that was not possible. It was beyond limits. We were part of Russian influence zone, which actually, if you look at this map, it stretched all the way to Berlin. It covered very much all these countries here that you see to the right of the cursor. That was all Russian influence zone, and you couldn't travel beyond that. It was just like not possible. Even to get a passport, you had to know somebody. And if you traveled abroad, you had to hand over your passport back to authorities when you came back. In that small village, nothing was happening, but we had beautiful nature and I really enjoyed it. So you can see Uganda's here. So this is like the journey I had to make. I actually live in close to Switzerland. So where I live is actually here. There is another map here. I'm going to show you in a second. So this is the village where I grew up. So you can see plenty of green, lots of nature, plenty of spaces where I could just go for walks. And that's what I hugely enjoyed, like being a computer scientist, having to do anything with computers. That was really unthinkable at that time. This is the town where I went to my high school. So in Poland, that's like 4 years of your education. It's a small town called Lemberg, but also nicely located, close to Baltic Sea. Really nice place. So some random facts about my childhood. So yeah. Yes, my computer, and for like a very basic programming and for gaming, and that's what like everyone used it for. I was probably 10, 11 when these came out or became available in Poland, and they were at that time they were close to like 10 years old, these computers. But this is actually best-selling personal computer ever. And computer, which was just a PC, so standard x86 architecture. And that's kind of where the fun started for me, because I was like curious how this thing actually works. How does it happen that I move the cursor and like something happens? How does it actually happen that when you play a computer game, there are these characters that play against you? And right now, the computers game are way, way more sophisticated. Back then, we had 16 colors and everything 2D, everything flat, but you still had some kind of characters that were coming up against you. And I was thinking, how does this machine know? What does it have to do? How do these objects know that they have to attack me? And how do they know how to do it? I was like very curious how this is happening. So this is kind of where my interest in computers started. Like, how does this machine actually work? I must say, I paused this journey for quite a long time, for probably 10 years. I'll tell you a little bit more about it. It was like a mixed breed, very nice dog. My interests, yeah, so computers, philosophy as well. I was like very young when I asked my father, what is philosophy? Because I heard the word somewhere on the radio and he wasn't able to explain to me. He said, you won't understand at 10 years old. And I read like 3 thick books which talked about history of philosophy, starting from ancient Greece, and that kind of shaped the way I perceive the world to a big degree. Also, literature is one of my interests. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. They all live in Poland. My parents also live in Poland, up top in that place where that I showed you. So from that little village, which is actually located here, when I was growing up, unheard of actually traveling anywhere abroad, I did actually live in quite a few places. Quite a few Poland, as you can see, once in Lyon, 2 places close to where I live. So this is where I live now. This is Geneva in Switzerland. I live just across the border because Geneva is very much surrounded by France right now. And this is actually my hometown at the moment. That's where I've been living for the past 3 years. It's a town called Saint-Genis-Pouilly. Nobody knows it, but most people that are into science, computer science, they know about CERN, the big accelerator where they accelerate particles. They collide them close at the speed of light, and they try to figure out how the world actually came to be. So it's happening here. CERN is, they are the scientists, or they work in the IT department. A nice place to see and be in, because we have mountains here. We have mountains here, the Alps, Jura. It's a beautiful corner of the world. So Now, a little bit about my journey. So I guess typically when you see people with like nice LinkedIn profiles and lots of big names, which is, I mean, I'll share with you my LinkedIn profile later. So you'll see like a lot of big tech names and lots of fancy things, but in fact, I didn't take the typical journey. So I was born in 1981 in Poland, so I'm 44 next month. Yes, next month. And yeah, I attended where I grew up. And really, I'm just going randomly through things that could be important. Like roughly it's 2001, I was a student, maybe like you. I decided to drop out of university because I did a difficult path, encouraging you to do. That's not the point of my presentation. I just decided that I want to do things my way, that I want to see the world as well, which is like very close to us. We couldn't really travel. It was 2001 before like a big change happened into Poland, European Union. I think roughly in 2004. So in 2001, I decided, okay, I'm going to migrate from Poland to United Kingdom, which wasn't an easy trip. We couldn't just like show our passport and say, hey, I'm coming here, I want to stay for a few months. This wasn't actually that easy. I was held at the UK border for several times, searched, like everything that I had in my bag was taken to pieces. Every little pieces of paper were read by the immigration officers, because that was the reality back then. That was what I had to do to actually get to England. And if you saw me about 25, 24 years ago, you'll be seeing me at rooftops of London carrying bricks. I was like laborer. So if you see people here like working on construction sites and you travel buses with them maybe, and they're dirty and they look scruffy, that's how I looked like 25 years ago. That's what I was doing. I was a construction laborer. I was doing very, very angry too. It wasn't an easy place, and we couldn't like legally work in the United Kingdom at the time. At some point after I arrived, opportunity opened so we could be self-employed, which kind of made things easy to us. But I've been through some hardship. I'm sure it's not complete all your friends, all your families having grew up in Uganda, but that doesn't mean I'm not familiar with what pain is, what hunger is. I've been there, and I tried to find my way through it and find my passion and feed my passion so that I start doing things that I really love. So when I lived in London, I did these like low-paid jobs. I even washed cars in car parks in the winter, and trust me, your hands really hurt when you're washing cars in like -5 because the water freezes, there is wind, and it's really cold. I was selling chicken in a fish and chip shop. I was a motorcycle courier. That's actually a photo from 2003. And that's actually my scooter at the time. So this was what I was using to deliver parcels in and around London. And that was actually quite a tough job because for 12 hours a day, you were seated on a bike and you were just, if it was raining and if it was cold, you were all soaked wet, but you had to continue because that's how you win bread. And throughout this, I learned that I really want to find my way to do the things that I really love. And I want to make money doing exactly that. So through like some hard work, I did manage to get onto my first IT job. I did manage to educate myself in London, and it's pretty expensive, but actually Queen paid for. Queen Elizabeth actually paid partially for my study. So I managed to do my first degree. It was roughly 2004 or 5. For that, I managed to get my first job in IT, which was like really just supporting people that had like computers in offices. We were supporting small networks. If something broke, they would call us or send us an email. So it was like low-paid IT support job. But very early in my career, I fell in love in something called Solaris, which I'm sure you have not heard of, which was a Unix operator. Still download it, and you can find a fork of it on GitHub. I think the most recent one, the one that actually works and runs it's Illumos. The operating system was invented, it was roughly year 2000. slightly later than that. It has some features that even modern operating systems still don't have, and they still adapt to those. Like even this Mac, it now has a feature called dtrace, which allows you to see what's happening inside the computer at any given time, what's happening in the kernel. It allows you to debug some functions. It's actually the feature that came out 20 years ago in that operating system, well, 15 years ago in that operating system. But I fell in love with that operating system. And I was like, okay, so what do I do so that I keep this IT job? And I do think that really makes me happy. So I found another job in a company where we were supporting large infrastructure for online trading. We had few data centers, several hundred machines, all running this operating system. But I wanted to do more. I wanted to learn more. So I started working for the vendor, a company called Sun Microsystems, which probably you haven't heard of. It was by many people, it's claimed to be the best tech company ever. It was amazing. Working for that company was amazing because you were working with like the top tech at the time, which was Solaris operating system. And I heard a few of you mentioning Java. So Java is something that was invented by a guy at Sun Microsystems. It's still hugely popular despite the fact that it's 20 years old or even more. I used to actually go for runs with folks that maintained the Java operating language that was programming the language itself. They were kind of between the programmer and the machine itself. And back then, we didn't have Python, we didn't have JavaScript. We were like debugging problems, looking at assembly code and looking at what's happening on a processor at the time, what's happening in the kernel at the time. And it was actually huge fun doing that. I hugely enjoyed this. At some point, Sun Microsystems stopped existing. It was purchased by Oracle, so that's like one of the big tech giants right now. But Java obviously still continues to be one of the major programming languages. From UK, I moved to Poland for a few years. I worked remotely since 2011, in fact, and I still do work remotely. So I moved to Poland for a few years. I worked for a company called Red Hat there. So that's like the major. While I was actually working remotely, I also completed my MSc in London in a university called Royal Holloway, which is part of University of London. And I moved back a little bit to London. And I was roughly, Larry stopped being like the major and leading operating system, and the Linux community had exploded, and Linux seems to be the way forward up to this stage. So I had to think about how I diversify my skill set. How do I still remain attractive in the work market, which is very competitive, and it will remain competitive. I'll tell you a little bit more about that because there's a piece of advice I want to give you on that, on the fact that you always have to be on the lookout of what's new, what's coming, and don't get stuck with the technology, the tech stack you're in right now, because it will change. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. In 2021, I moved to France and I joined AWS there. So I hope you know who AWS is. So it's the largest cloud provider out there. And I'm a senior technical account manager with the company, which is fairly senior role where we work with very large strategic customers, and we are talking about like the Fortune 100 customers. So the largest organizations out there, and we try to understand what are the strategic objectives and how they can use technology, particularly AWS Cloud, to meet their objective to be successful. So I often have conversations with like the CTO organizations, people in like very senior director roles as well. And fun facts, I think I'm the only person in France that attends those meetings wearing exactly this. I never wear shirts, I never wear long trousers, even in the winter. And I'm still amazed how I managed to get away with it, like going to those very, very executive meetings. Nobody ever said a word, trust me. Sometimes people give me weird looks, especially if you see like lots of senior directors and you walk in the room and like who's this? Didn't expect that. So it happens. And I don't know how, probably I'm the only one person that will keep getting away with it. Throughout those passions, and now if you see the contrast of me like being this dirty construction and smelly construction worker, carrying bricks, and actually I once almost fell from the 8th floor. I remember, from like a scaffolding in London. From that, I managed to still like pull myself up, and through my passions, through like persistence, I did manage to get into this position where I can travel when it was just unthinkable of to even go abroad. And I've seen more than 50 countries. And like first time I'm here in Uganda, and I'm very happy to be here. And there's obviously more to come. So my advice to you, my first advice to you is follow your passions and recognize your passions early. See what they are and just work towards them. Things will happen if you are very determined and if you focus on what it is that you want to achieve. And don't let anyone stop you. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not worth it, that you won't achieve. You keep telling yourself that you will achieve, that you're worth it and you can make it. So moving forward, I'm going to tell you another story which could inspire you as well. So this is about Major Charity Adams. Not a very known figure, but you should actually know her. So that's her. This is not Gen AI generated image. An American woman to be actually an officer, so highly ranked military official in the U.S. Armed Forces during the Second World War, and she was leading actually a battalion, black women only battalion in Second World War, which was called 6888. So this name here. If you look at this name, I don't know if it's on Netflix or one of the streaming platform. It's a great movie, maybe not from like the acting perspective and the art perspective, but it's a great story to be familiar with. And I do recommend that you actually see this movie. And here's why, because she was too than you are right now, whereas maybe you don't see many opportunities, especially that, yes, the economy is not really doing well. The GDP is low. The per capita income is low. Say we study, but we hungry when we study. So this woman, she was also in this situation where she wanted to succeed. She wanted to achieve. She wanted to build a name for herself and her fellow soldiers. But she was in an environment which was extremely hostile at the time. So she was in white male-dominated US military environment where she faced racism every day. She was racially abused. She couldn't sit with senior officers because she was Black. She couldn't even use the same bus at military because she was Black. They couldn't even train with white troops because they were Black. And against all the odds, everything stacked against them, they still managed to succeed. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what it is that they succeeded in. But look at the dates. She was deployed in Europe in 1942, I think. And her battalion was awarded the Gold Congressional Medal actually after I started preparing this presentation, because it was on April the 29th. So about a month ago. 80 years after the war, they were awarded the Golden Medal by the Congress, by the Speaker of the House. You can actually read about this. It's an interesting story, how you actually show a success that took a long time, that took lots of determination, and finally they got recognized for what they did. So what is it that they actually do? If you watch the movie, and I really recommend that you watch it, it looks like a trivial story. So back then, there was a problem handling the post. US soldiers were deployed in Europe, and they were writing letters to their family. We didn't have phones. We didn't have communication. Like radio, you couldn't use it. Telegraph, you couldn't use it to say your loved ones that you are actually okay. So letters, post were the only way you could contact your family. So imagine you're the only son of your mother, and she she's scared every day. She can't sleep for months because she can't hear back from you, because she doesn't know if you're alive, and she has no way to find out that you're alive. And you keep sending her letters saying, Mom, I'm thinking about you every day. And she doesn't get those letters. So the soldiers were their morale was going really, really low because they couldn't hear from their loved ones. Their loved ones couldn't hear from them. They were very unhappy. There was 17 million items of post that were laying in warehouses, and nobody know what to do about this. So thanks to the president's wife, 6888 was actually deployed in Europe to handle this problem. They weren't fighting, but their mission was pretty big. It was to bring hope to families, bring hope to troops that haven't seen their families for many, many months. And it was to make sure that this post actually gets delivered. And they had no help. They were told, okay, off you go, and you just do it. There is no senior official that's going to overlook it, that's going to tell you what to do, how to do it. So those women, they managed to do it against the odds. They were sleeping in very basic conditions, often no electricities, bombardments, and still hostile senior executives at the US military. They managed to organize everything together through determination, hard work, and this never give up mentality. No matter what, just don't give up. You will fall many times in your life, but just don't give up. 80 years later, they get the golden medal. They finally get the recognition for the tremendous work that they did, because they did actually manage to have those 17 million items of post delivered to families that have been waiting to hear from their loved ones for many, many months. So I hope that gives you some idea of what you need to succeed as well, of what kind of mindset do you need to be in, especially that you are in a very, very tough and difficult environment. So what's happening in East Africa? So I just really gathered some random data points, and those data points are actually important, especially when you look from global economy point of view. You always try to gather some kind of statistics that tell you how well something is doing, what direction something is taking. So we are seeing that the GDP growth is rising 5.7. Maybe those numbers actually don't tell you much, but 5.7, which it actually means you're amongst the top growing regions in the world. Yes, it's easy to grow, they might say, if the economy is very weak, if there is not much of an economy, but it shows us that the direction you're facing is actually the right one. There are startups growing in East Africa. There are more and more global players actually looking at East Africa as the next destination for the tech talent. And that's you. That's what the world is going to need a couple of years from now. The world is going to need you, educated people, people that know technology, people that know how today's tech world works and that have the hard skills required, like programming, data science, artificial intelligence, generative AI. Next thing is going to be quantum computing. This talent has to go from somewhere. And the talent pool is shrinking in Europe. We have aging population in Europe. We have huge talent pool in India, that's true, but the talent pool in India is now very volatile. As an employer, if you're looking for new loyal employees that are going to stay with you, India stops being the destination because the rotation of employee there is pretty high. But from what I'm seeing, you're at the edge of a change similar to actually what happened in India about 15, 20 years ago, where it was also an economy that was struggling. But the world started appreciating that actually Indian country produces a lot of educated technical youth that can actually contribute to those large businesses, that can be attractive, because while they have the same skills that anyone else in Western Europe or in America, but actually it's much more cost effective to hire in India, and they speak English, which is obviously what you do as well, because your educational system is in English. So you have all the attributes that you need to actually become the next India. Whereas the world will start appreciating that we do have talent here in Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda, or even in Tanzania. You have very, very good universities. And now we have internet. Like, there is nothing isolating you from the breadth of knowledge that exists out there. Speaking specifically of on Uganda, so you see your economy grew actually by 6.1%, so slightly higher than the overall in East Africa, but particularly services and industry sectors. And services, that also means the tech sector. That's a sector where there is talent with your skills required. Currently, tech sector contributes about 5% to your GDP, which means this sector is now a sizable part of your economy, and it's still predicted to grow. It's predicted to be 7% in 2025, which means there will be more and more opportunities for you to contribute, and not only to your own economy, but also just looking from global point of view. Those big players, they will start looking for talent here, which is actually great opportunity for you here. I'll tell you about this, but you are growing to be like the first generation of tech leaders in Africa. And I'll tell you why this is important as well later on. Just some little facts about the tech jobs, because that's for many of you, this could be one of the motivators as well, because I do understand that even if one person, like if you have a big family and you the only person in a family that has a good job in the tech sector, that means your family has now good life. They have, like, you've secured their life. Maybe you have a little brother or little sister. Now you can afford to educate them. Now you can afford to help them in their journey. So there's a big opportunity for you here. Yes, some random figures here, like what the earnings look like for like experienced tech tech professionals. And obviously don't forget about the fact that the global industry is going to need talent as well, and the salaries are obviously much higher. I'm not saying that's what you do, like when you graduate, like the first thing you do, you get $100,000 job. It takes time to build it. It might take 10 years to be there, but you can be there. If this is something that motivates you, then you can be there. But just don't let anyone tell you that you should do something else that you cannot achieve. You know, whatever they tell you, just keep going. And obviously, thanks to internet, we have remote work opportunities right now. So what's next for you? Immediately, what's next for you? I think maybe lunch, but we're not going to talk about lunch. We're going to talk about the course that you're about to start, the bootcamp. So I understand you're all from different backgrounds and you all wanted to take this opportunity to take the bootcamp. And I think you're making the right choice. I think it's worth investing your time in it. So yes, it will take you 4 months, and it could be quite loaded because on average, 3 times a week, you'll have your training, but you'll learn about specifically those aspects of technology that are on demand right now, which is data science and AI. This is actually what I've been investing my time in over the past 5 years. I've been specializing in machine learning, like the classical machine learning. I think somebody mentioned classification problem. That's what classical machine learning does. And most recently, I invested some time in generative AI as well, which seems to be a hugely growing sector, or really fast growing sector since like 2023, and the change is very rapid there. So you are going to learn about those technologies, but you are going to learn like about what is the latest. And I understand, because I've been educated on universities as well, that often universities, when you finish your university, like your knowledge is probably already like a year, 2 years out of date. So the idea is really to give you the latest. There will be a large amount of information to absorb, but it is worth it. And some piece of advice. I mean, you will be facing challenges. It will be difficult. You will struggle because you will have to juggle all other things that you have to do in your life. Maybe you have a big family to look after. Maybe you have other commitments. Maybe you have a job where you have to be full-time. And you might think, actually, I want to give up. I don't think I can make it. You might think I should really drop this. I'm not like getting anything out of it. My advice, keep going. No matter what, keep going. When I did my degree, I was like studying up until 3 a.m. in the morning, and I still had my full-time job. And I could do it because I knew it's worth it, because I knew there is light at the end of the tunnel. So just keep going. And if you fall, if you have doubts, just get up and continue. That's like the best advice I can give you, is just keep going. And why? Big why is because you matter, because I think you really matter. Each and every single one of you matters. And what you do in your life matters. And the fact that you can change your life, the life of your families, that matters too. Your passions matter, your future matter, your country's future matters. And this country needs talent. Not only this country, the globe needs talent. So don't forget about that. And if there's any of you here that doesn't believe that you matter, then I'm sharing my LinkedIn handle at the end of this presentation. Please ping me on LinkedIn, and I can tell you why you matter. I can convince you that you matter, because all of you do. My advice for you. So my partner told me that this is me when I'm 95. This is not me when I'm 95, but maybe it will be, I don't know, but this is Gen AI generated image. But I want to give you a few pieces of advice just to sum this up. So especially now that you're early in your career, or you still like, you don't think about it as your career. Many of you said you're at your second year at university. That is where your career is starting. You have to invest your time, your brain power into developing your skills that then you will benefit from in the future. Very early on, identify what your goals are, what you want to do long term, where you want to be. Do you want to be technical? Do you want to manage people? Do you want to have a job that's remote? Do you want to have a job that lets you travel? Because if you identify those goals early, then you can start working towards them early. And when you identify goals, think about them. Okay, how do I measure success? Any goals that you have to identify the success criteria. Think about them. Okay, if my goal is to this, how do I measure that I met this goal? And stick with that. Stay on this path. And another one, take any opportunity to be seen. What I mean by that is, it doesn't mean just go out on the road, make sure people see you. That's not going to make you successful. But we live in the internet age, and each and every one of you have the opportunity of publishing your work on GitHub, on LinkedIn, which is where lots of tech sector is recruiting. Whatever you do, you did like, I heard one of you did some IoT project with sensors gathering data. Why not talk about this? Why not put it on your LinkedIn profile? Oh, like just post, hey, if you're interested in how IoT works, here is an interesting project that I did. Make yourself visible, because recruiters of the future, they will look at what is it that you actually did. There is no excuse for not showing your work. And if you don't show your work, if you're not visible, that means you haven't done any work. So before, I mean, and some of you could be already in your jobs, but some of you are still studying. Before you send your CV out to somebody, think about, where can they find me online? Did I publish any code on GitHub? No matter how small code. Am I seen as contributor to GitHub projects? Did I tell anyone on LinkedIn that I completed this project, that I learned something interesting? Like you just completing this bootcamp, 4 months from now, each and everyone can put it on your LinkedIn profile. I have just completed this bootcamp. It was fascinating to learn about this and that technology. Build that digital footprint that is going to follow you throughout your career, so that the recruiters can see that, okay, these guys actually know what they're doing. They did something interesting. They can show some kind of work that we will appreciate. So take every opportunity. Just don't be afraid of posting online that you did something interesting, because recruiters will look for that exactly. Understand the environment you're in. What do I mean by that is, you're going to be working in different organizations, and different organizations, I mean different companies, which have different goals, which have different success criteria, which have different mission statements. Try to understand what the company that you're working for, what actually are they doing? How does their business model work? And business model is, how do they actually make money? Do they make money selling software licenses, producing software for others, integrating systems? What does this company actually do for living? And when you are getting recruited by one of those companies, ask yourself always this question: why am I here? Why are they recruiting me? What is the goal that they want to achieve by recruiting me? And ask those questions. When you are having a job interview, don't ask recruiter, do you have free bananas in the fridge, or do you have free Coke or drinks at the office? Ask them, what do you think it will take me to be successful 6 months from now? Try to understand this. Try to understand the why. Another piece of advice: learn to be a leader. And what do I mean by that is, you are all very technical, and you should stay technical. And the world will need leaders that are actually technical, because for a long, long time, the tech sector invested a lot in leaders, in mid-layer managers who actually don't understand the technology. And they often are not capable of leading successful teams. With you being in this unique position where the tech sector is just like starting to explode in East Africa, 5-10 years from now, you might be facing opportunity to actually run projects, to guide others, to mentor them, to help them achieve, but you will have to understand technology. So make sure that you invest in those skills. How would I, like, let's say I'm a JavaScript developer. Now, how would I run a team of JavaScript developers? What does it feel to run a team? What do I have to do to run a team? How do I mentor people? How do I review their code? How do I understand my organization's goals and how my team contributes to that? So think about that too, because you are the generation that will be leaders, and either you are the leader or you are not. You missed the train, but you are in a unique position to all be leaders of the future, the tech leaders of Africa. Adapt to change. And I told you that I'm going to refer back to this. When I started my career, I told you I fell in love in this operating system called Solaris. And this operating system is dead right now. Back then, 15 years ago, when you had Solaris on your CV, it was like that, and you get a job because the skills were on such a high demand. Right now, I'm in my 40s, nobody needs Solaris. I used to work in a company about 6 years ago when we were still supporting the operating system. There was 4 of us globally that had the skills to actually support our customers. It's a dead technology. So right now, you all either know or learn or will be learning Python, data science, Gen AI, machine learning, AI, all those technologies that are on demand right now. Just be mindful of the fact that 10, 15 years from now, the world might be different. Maybe everyone will be investing into programming quantum machines because they will be so much faster. Right now, whatever we think is mathematically possible will be possible with those quantum machines, like breaking cryptography, for example, will be possible with quantum machines. Somebody will have to know how to program them, how to build algorithms for them, and there will be more to come in our lifetime. Like when I was starting the tech sector journey, we knew that when we have fast machines fast enough, we will have machine learning, because it's all about like comparing numbers and like brute forcing the optimal solution. That's effectively what machine learning boils down to, but we didn't have machines fast enough. Now my mobile phone can do machine learning. So make sure you adapt to this change, because change will be coming, and be ready to adapt. Know your strengths. So again, identify what is best about you. Because when you get recruited, when your manager asks you, hey, where do you want to progress? Where do you want to be next year, 5 years from now? Or if somebody recruits you, they will ask you, tell me something good about you. Tell me the best thing about you. Tell me your strengths. What are you best at? How do you succeed? So be ready to have those conversations and be modest, but also be true to yourself. If you think you're really strong about something, if you think I really have this way of developing the best algorithms, or I have a way of finding the best solutions to problems, or I can explain technology to others, recognize those trends, write them down and build a narrative that you can share with others. And you might be repeating it 10 times until you find a job. But you will see when you find that job, you will see this actually helped me. Knowing who I am, knowing what I'm best at, this is going to help you. And ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. When you have technical presentations with others and you don't understand something, ask questions. When you are in a new job and you don't know what to do, ask questions. Be curious. Always be curious, because if you don't ask questions early on, then you can get lost later on. With that, questions. I just told you to ask questions, and I hope you take this advice seriously. How much time do we have? 5-10 minutes? Yeah. Okay, cool. So now is your time to ask questions. If there's anything you'd like to ask me, I've been through a tech sector for like 20 years now. I've done many interesting jobs, traveled the world, seen many things, spoke to many people. So anything that you're interested in that could help you, now is your chance to ask. I'm not going to force you to ask, but yeah, we have a question. I'll go down a little bit. So yeah, there's a microphone. I hope I'll hear the question. There's got to be some rocket switch.
Thank you.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Well, I may have different people at different times, but this is the first one. I viewed your profile, and well, coming here, I was very excited to come and hear how your journey has been, because it is similar to the journey that I think I have begun sometime back. Surprisingly, I met either the only one here who finished campus sometime back. And just interested to know how you have been able to position yourself that AWS was able to have you on board on the different period of time. Given the fact that it's one of the global leaders in the cloud space. I currently work for Standard Bank Group as a cloud engineer. And when I saw your main focus with cloud and ML, I was very much interested to see how you are helping organizations with your technical skills to position them for the next challenges. Thank you.
Okay. So I hear two questions. So one of them is, how did I put myself in this position where I was able to apply to AWS? And I must say, when they hired me, I'm like, what? Did I really get the job? How did I do it? But to be serious is some of those points that I spoke to. So build this story, this narrative about yourself early on. Recognize your goals, recognize your strengths. And if you have some success story behind, for example, maybe you contributed to some project, maybe you built something interesting, maybe you were part of your university team that won some kind of award. Build yourself a document where you document those stories. When you write them down, and well, use ChatGPT to even help you write the story, as long as the facts are correct. So you have the narrative, because then you can say 5 years on, if somebody recruits you, you can say, hey, we had this project at our university where we wanted to build something. Our goal was to improve the way we maybe communicate externally. And our team came up with this idea that we can develop this network of connected nodes. And I developed part of the solution. Here is my contribution to it. And the goal was the university was able to communicate, collaborate with other organizations. I'm making this up, but from something that seems like a simple story, you start building your lifetime journey and lifetime narratives that you can then present to others. And if you look at my profile, yeah, it looks like generative AI, machine learning, and the cloud, but I only started doing cloud about 8 years ago. My IT career is about 20 years old. I did storage, I did IoT, I did operating systems, I did networking, all of that, which maybe is not really relevant to what I'm doing right now, but it helps you understand the technology, like the breadth of the technology. But it's not necessarily always that important which exact language you use to program something. What's important is you have contributors mentality. You are able to contribute to something. You're able to build something, but write it down, because 5 years from now, you might not remember like what was it all about, but write it down, build your story earlier on so you can sell it to others on the job market. To the second part of your question is, it's around how do I help my customers being successful? It is very difficult, I must say. We have very diverse customers. They could be in defense sector, they could be governments, they could be like all the applications on your phone that you open, probably like 60 to 70% of those applications, they run on AWS cloud, and they are all our customers, some bigger, some larger, like Netflix is our customer, Formula One is our customer, many banks, global banks are our customers. So they all different, they all have different profiles. What you do to make to be successful at helping your customers achieve, you spend a lot of time trying to understand that context. This piece of advice that I gave you, like understand where you are, understand your context. It's about learning the organization that you either work for or you work with. It's learning where they come from, what do they do for living, how do they actually make money, how their business model work, who their competitors are, what is their story, who are their executives, and what are their goals. Which, if it's like stock exchange listed company, you can just look at their annual reports and they always tell you what are the goals of those organizations. So you, first of all, you really spend lots of time not investing in like understanding the technology, that comes secondary actually. You try to understand the context you're in, the organization that you're working for, and then you figure out, okay, here is what they want to do. So for example, my customer could be willing to expand globally, and maybe they are present in Europe, but they want to expand to Cape Town. They want to have presence in Africa, and we have data centers. AWS has data centers in Africa. We have a region in Africa, in Cape Town. So how would I help my customer? It's like I would try to understand, why do they actually even want to be in Cape Town? Like, what's the business reason behind that? And they might say, well, because we have customers, because we have users there, because we want to have less latency on our products, because we have better business relationships. It's typically some kind of expansion, some kind of commercial goal behind this. So we try to understand this, and then, okay, so how do I help them with that? Well, I can help to see what technology do we have to support them? Do we have the same databases that they need? Do we have the same EC2 instances, which are like virtual machines in the cloud? Are there any specific regulations related to running technology in this particular geography? Do they need any special training? How do they architect to have a solution in place in Cape Town that maybe connects to some kind of backend system somewhere else in the globe using our infrastructure? So this is how I would help my customer, but I really start by understanding my customer really well. You have to spend that time, invest in that. Even if you are a developer, it doesn't matter. If your focus is just to write the code, like sometimes take the pause and like step aside and think, why am I actually doing this? What is it contributing to? What is my organization doing with this code? How is it being used? How does it contribute to the goals of my organization? Yeah, so that's the best answer I can give. We have another question. Can we pass the mic there?
I saw somewhere you were working, got some jobs.
Yes.
So, you know, in Uganda here, kind of decide what you're doing. Sometimes it's quite hard to step aside and follow your passion directly. It takes you some time, some time. You need to decide where, if if you decide to follow a passion directly, all hell will break loose. So how did you balance that? The dependency burden here is too big. The young graduate has so many people behind them. How do they balance money, plus innovation and disruption? And the other question is, what do you say about the tech startups in Uganda?
Okay. Thank you. So, yeah, so the first question, how do you balance that? It is actually, especially if you're at the early stages of your journey, it's a lot of investment of extra time, which often you might not have, into your major goal. And as I mentioned, I was studying till like 4 a.m. in the morning, and then I had to get up like 6, 7 a.m. to go to my daytime job, which actually had nothing to do with IT at the time. It's about like going the extra mile, because often you're actually out of balance. Often you're kind of on the edge, at the edge of what you can take as a human, because you might have a family, you might have 2 or 5 brothers or sisters to look after, and you must make sure that they have something to eat. You must make sure that they go to school, that they come back, that they do their homework. You're at work during the day, you come back, you still have to take care of them. And your work is very hard, and it could be physically challenging, and you come home like really wasted, and you still have to find the strength. And I think the strength doesn't come from your body. It comes from here. It comes from your brain. It comes from you repeating yourself and knowing why you do it. That it's temporary. That's 2 years from now, 5 years from now, you're going to be in different place. But also your family, those brothers and sisters that you look after, they also going to be in different place. And then you can do amazing things, just like Charity Adams did. Like, this was unthinkable of the success that they achieved. But it's not necessarily balanced. You're completely out of balance many times when you try to achieve, especially if you're at early stages. And I would say, understand your mission, understand where you want to be, understand what it means to be determined. Even when you're about to fall, when you're about to give up, like, open your eyes again and just think about, okay, but I can be somewhere else if I just keep going. My little brothers and sisters, they can be also somewhere else thanks to my determination. It's all in our minds. Success is always in your mind. There is, I don't know who actually said this, but I think it's attributed to Einstein, but I'm not sure if this is actually Einstein's quote, that success is 1% of talent and 99% of hard work. And you have to be prepared. You are going to have to be prepared to do this really, really hard work. But the reward is really worth it. That's the best advice I can give you about that, I think. When it comes to tech startups in Uganda, I don't know the market specifics, or I don't know the tech startups industry here specifically, but I know what it means in like the global context, because a startup, simply put, it's a company that's just like self-funded. So you have a couple of folks coming together to build something, to achieve some kind of goal, to have some kind of product. And obviously you start this company. At some point you might think about like external funding. That's where your investors come in to grow your organization, to be more successful, to accelerate development of your product, to accelerate your success. But what it means, the fact that you actually have a startup ecosystem in Uganda, it means this destination starts being attractive as a place to start your business. For many, many years, the United States dominated the startup industry. Now we have thriving startup community in Europe as well, with its challenges as well, because maybe the investment sector, the tech investors aren't that liberal as they are in America. They are more conservative in Europe. But still, we have thriving ecosystem of startups, which is pretty mature in Europe now, all over Europe. And even Poland has gone through this transition where we were up until like 30 years ago, we were in the Soviet system, which was like everything was centrally governed. All the businesses were owned by the government. Once you had a job, you had job for life. But from the very first day of your job, you were always told what to do. For the next 30 years, you will just live listening to somebody's orders and executing on those orders and nothing beyond that. We went through this transition where from that system, we moved to the mentality, okay, if you want to achieve, you're on your own, you have to figure it out. How do you do something? How do you build something that's successful? And you are at this stage right now where you're very much on your own, but that means you have the opportunity to be on your own. That means you have the opportunity to grow, to build something. And those skills that I mentioned about, you understand your strengths, understand your goals, where you want to be, they are hugely important in like determining, okay, how am I successful? Even if I'm not going to build my startup, now we have startups in this country, which means there are opportunities for us to grow. And from your perspective, that is what's important. You will have chance to contribute somewhere else. And startups are amazing to work for. I did work for a number of startups, smaller and larger ones. Startups have this culture of like spending a lot of money, like almost burning money, because the culture in a startup is we want to build something really fast. Then we figure out how we make money doing that. Some startups, they make money from day one, but that's rarely the case. And there's lots of fun working for startups, lots of creativity. You can travel a lot working for startups too. To you, that means really there is opportunity coming from you. And I would say spend some time understanding what startups actually mean, what they bring to economy and how they are different from like centrally governed economy. Any more questions?
Tech skills that are right for this program. Then help us projects, okay, 2060, 2050, the relevancy of some tech skills that we may need to remain relevant in the space. Because the trends are changing over time. 20 years ago, tech space is different from how it is right now. So 30 years from now, it's going to be different. So would help us move into the future. See what this is. Thank you so much.
Okay. So yes, so I understand it, as far as I understand the question. So it's like the skills that you're learning right now, they might become obsolete and irrelevant 30 years from now. How do you still build something on those skills? How do you decide which skills to invest to? And honestly, you can't. You can look at what the trends are, what the world is expecting, but did we expect that ChatGPT will be published in 2023 or 2022? We didn't. We knew that machine learning exists, but we didn't know that this big evolution or revolution in Gen AI, that it will happen. When I was starting my career, it was like unthinkable of. We knew that there's going to be machine learning, that's all. Think ahead. Look at the market trends. Look at what is it that people are blogging about, what is coming up, and try to then invest in that. I did have to make this decision when I said, okay, cloud is going to keep me safe probably for the next 10, 15 years because everyone is in the cloud, but there could be next thing that comes and suddenly the cloud is irrelevant. That is true. And there's always this, this risk. Python might be irrelevant. When I was starting, we used assembly. I wasn't assembly programmer, but I was debugging assembly code, and trust me, this is tough to understand what's happening on a machine at every single millisecond. It is tough, and right now nobody needs those skills because we all program in Python, JavaScript, or Java. We don't have to know what memory allocation is, what CPU registers are. Like, this is so irrelevant, but it's still happening. I would say those skills, they will still help you understand how the world of computing works. I know what clouds is, but I can walk you through all the different stacks of cloud down to the level of the processor, of which there are millions in the cloud, how it actually works, how it happens that you type something in and there is some kind of code being executed and it adds 5 plus 5, or it can draw an image of a car. I could explain that to you. So where were we? It was PDF. There you go. So any more questions? I'm wondering how much time we have. Maybe last question. 2 more questions. Okay. Who has the mic?
Thank you very much for your presentation. Concerning the skills, my colleague mentioned that, okay, you mentioned that you cannot predict the skill, but maybe you can throw insight about, let's say, the skills. People are still doing local setups, like, oh, it's everything on cloud. Because when it comes to cloud, let's say, people are no longer going to learn the basic skills of managing databases. We just provisioning the cloud service provider, like Mongo and so on. And also talk about the security aspect, like what's the need for someone who wants to delve into cybersecurity, and how can they be able to position themselves in this space?
Okay, so I can speak to cybersecurity for sure, because I actually, my degree is in cybersecurity. I did a degree in cryptography. So cybersecurity, I mean, we're always going to need cybersecurity, but it's not one skill. It's a landscape that's evolving. If you think where we were in terms of cybersecurity 30 years ago, we had like no cryptography that was being used at mass scale. When first telephones came up, mobile phones, like with the initial edge networks, like this was all unencrypted. You could tap in and listen to people's phone calls. That market didn't exist, but still we somehow needed to be secure, and we developed cryptography. We developed many authentication protocols so that we secure. This landscape will keep evolving, and we will always need cybersecurity experts. So you're pretty safe in terms of like when you choose a career path in cybersecurity, you're pretty safe that this kind of expertise, like the domain, is going to exist. Like I don't foresee a world where there's not going to be bad actors, because the reason cybersecurity exists is there are bad actors out there that wants to defraud us, that wants to steal secrets, that wants to do bad things to us. So that group of people will always exist, those that will want to profit from some kind of exploits. So we'll always need cybersecurity experts. I would say to start with, try to understand where cybersecurity is, how do people secure their systems. And like one big shift that also happened about 10, 15 years ago, it was the introduction of cloud. Like many banks 15 years ago, they would talk to us and they would say, but why would I keep my customer data in the cloud? Why would I have the whole banking application in the cloud? I want it in my data center because I think it's the only place where it's secure. And in fact, if you look at AWS data centers, so our data centers, I can speak for AWS because that's where I've been working. Some of our data centers, actually security guards are ex-Gurkha soldiers, which were Nepalese soldiers fighting along British troops. And we are extremely serious about cybersecurity. Our systems are more secure than like most of the banks that you actually see globally. But that was a big shift that happened. Previously, we didn't have this market. Right now, when you look at the cloud, what is security in the cloud? There is so many different services and different players in the market. I would say just go there and see, because you will evolve with this market. So when it comes to cybersecurity, I think the biggest challenge is to just step into this career, because once you're on the train, you will have to keep up no matter what. You will carry on evolving with cybersecurity. Is a very specific industry. It can be very stressful, I must say, but is a very specific industry that is evolving. I think one big thing that I can see definitely happening, there will be time when we will start thinking about how do we secure ourselves in the quantum era, because there will be quantum cryptography. There will be quantum algorithms that will crack any AES algorithm that we know right now, any AES mode of operation, or any cryptographic algorithm that we know for at this time. Diffie-Hellman will be cracked with quantum computing. It's just a matter of time. So where we wouldn't need expertise, we would need expertise with people that understand how those machines work and how we can actually build secure systems and secure solutions using those machines, because they're not binary machines. They operate on a completely different premise. So in terms of where you would like to position yourself, that's a big thing that's coming. They say, I think the CEO of NVIDIA, he said recently that's probably it's like 20 years away, quantum computers. So that's going to be within your careers. But more realistic estimate is like between 10 and 15 years, we'll have usable quantum machines, and they will change a lot for us. And you will see that the world will accelerate a lot when we have these machines. Suddenly, they will be thinking robots, like real thinking robots, capable of solving a lot of problems that we cannot solve right now. Cybersecurity will be a big part of that, I'm sure as well. When it comes to other things where you could like position yourself good for the future, I think cloud is still the place. For now, there is no cloud replacement. There is just maybe different smaller players that are starting to emerge for different reasons, where they want to provide the same type of services. But I think we're stuck with the cloud for the time being. There's like billions of dollars invested in infrastructure every year all over the globe. And it's not just going to go away, because if you look at your phones again, like 70% of what you have there is running on AWS cloud, rest is running on some other clouds. Nobody's running those services from garages or their own data centers, because cloud is so flexible. You just deploy a piece of code and you have 10,000 machines all over the world running your code. It's just so simple. So if you're a developer, if you're thinking about like being a developer, think about what it actually means to build like CDCI pipeline in the cloud and make it scale. Think about scale, because I can run a code on my laptop and it will do something. It will make an API call and fetch, I don't know, today's weather in Kampala, and you ask it a question in human language and it will tell you, okay, where a coat, because it's going to be raining today because this thing had made an API call. But how do you do it when there's 10 million users sending this API call every day? They're not going to sit at your laptop and like type in or say, hey, what's the weather today? So you have to think about scale. How do you scale solutions? How do you build them globally? What are the other tools that you need to do that? And right now, the answer is the cloud, because with the cloud, you deploy anywhere you want at any scale. So that is still worth investing in. Other than like coding, hard skills, try to understand what actually you get thanks to the clouds. Another question, I think you wanted to ask something. Can we pass the mic here at the front row? Let's say 1, 2, 3.
My question is about, okay, it's not like a question, but adding what Eric last year. So I've not been in the job market for a long time, but I've been there for some time now, like almost a year now. But one thing I've come to realize is that you have your passions as a person. Like, for example, you're passionate like about data science, cybersecurity. But when you leave campus, you're, I could say, desperate for a job because bills have to be paid. So you find, okay, I've seen it in many of my colleagues, you find yourself in doing a job that you actually are not passionate about. Like maybe you are doing, let's say, electrical engineering, but an audit firm advertised and you ended up going with an audit firm, because there is money and you need money. So my question is about how do you, it's not even balancing, I can't call it balancing, but how do you get to choose between doing this, like going for the money or chasing your passions? Because like I said, the money, you need the money, but at the same time, you need to chase your passions. And I realized that most times when we get to work, the work occupies like 80% of our time. So you don't get enough time to work on your side projects, like your own projects. Yeah, so my question is about how to handle those different pressures, like those different choices.
Yeah, so that's so the question speaks to the experience I had to a large degree when I was like carrying bricks or like cleaning construction sites in London. This, like, to me, this seemed to be like my future, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna do this forever. It's like I don't like this. It gives, like, puts bread on my table, and I can support myself in London. But I didn't always have time to actually, especially when I was working as a motorcycle courier, and it was like 12 hours a day job. And if you sit in the saddle for 12 hours, you get off the bike, you cannot walk. It's like, it's painful, your back really hurts. And then thinking about, well, last thing I want to think about at this stage is to open up a book and study. And sometimes you have to find that strength in yourself. Like, okay, I will go that extra mile. I know it will be painful. And sometimes you don't have a choice. You have to accept this job that doesn't give you a passion, but remain determined, remain focused on your goal and think about the job. Okay, it is temporary. It helps me get there. Maybe to get there, I need 2, 3, 4 more years, but at least I'm one step closer to where I want to be. And try to think how this thing that you do right now, how does it make you closer? What opportunities are still open? And how much time do you need to invest, and how to best invest maybe the little extra time that you have left in a day to monetize on it in the future? And one thing that you could potentially do is with very limited time, just find an open source project to contribute to. If you're in data science, if you're in machine learning, like just go to, for example, Hugging Face. Hugging Face is actually a customer of AWS. They are a large language model provider, but they have big ecosystem of builders that retrain models, they adjust them to their needs, they distill different models. They have their own Python library to actually interact with the models. You can build entire generative AI solution just based on Hugging Face. So I would say, think about, okay, maybe I have a very, very little time available. How do I maximize the maybe 1 hour a day that I can invest into achieving something? How do I maximize the output of that investment? Like, get some hardcore project, There's so many open source projects out there that you can just contribute to, and you can say, hey guys, like ping people on a forum, on GitHub, via LinkedIn, and say, hey, I think what you're doing is interesting. Can you add me as a contributor? Can I fix this bug in your code? Because I think I can, you know, try to look for those opportunities. They might be rare, it might be difficult, but trust me, I was like carrying bricks, and like that seemed to be like the rest of my life is going to be like that, because you couldn't just go and apply for a job. I couldn't even go and apply for a receptionist job because I could not be employed in UK at the time. So what we did was partially done illegally, but that was the reality. And then suddenly the world has changed. Just remain focused. And I know it's like, it's a tough advice, and maybe you're looking for some kind of recipe. Okay, if you're in this position, then do this. I think the key ingredients remain the same: the determination and like the faith that you can actually achieve. And with very little time that you have left, just invest smartly and be smart about how we invest that time into also being visible. Like one of the pieces of advice that I gave you, like be visible. If you contribute to something, open up that LinkedIn profile. Doesn't matter that you don't have job experience. It will come. Just put some projects that you are involved in like your main profile, but keep posting about, hey, I just got involved in this generative AI project that, I don't know, designs university interiors using these models. Here is some blog post that I've put together. You can do this, and you can do this on your own. You don't need others, because now we have internet. Now we have technology to help you do that. So be smart about this very little time that sometimes you have left to invest into your future. And time and brain is what you cannot buy. You will not buy it anywhere in the market, nowhere. So be smart about the time that you have. Do we have time for one more?
What you just said about the issue of working smarter versus working harder, I think I believe if you now for quite some time, they see it, of course, not in the development stage, development states, but I see it in my daily life. I think it's working life in Uganda. The problem is not the working hard as all of you know. Look outside, I think there are 5 vacancies there. Okay, so doing the job, to be honest, and you are competing with Bazogo, so you have to get this mindset, especially in the development space. You have the advantage, you have the same system maybe, but you have the advantage that you don't depend on workforce per se. So try really to use, as you mentioned, use the time you have available and really maximize it. Don't waste it. Of course, maybe, for example, if you say you work in a bank, many people work like 10 hours per day, but the problem is if you compare it to the Mazungu, you will maybe only spend 2 hours a day, like for the same working amount, right? So unfortunately, try to, as you're competing with these people, try to also adopt your mindset. If you have to be somewhere at 10 a.m., and of course, I will keep repeating myself, but be there at 10 a.m., and don't, traffic, traffic, yes, I know, but go 2 hours earlier. It's just a real life example for what basically is doing.
Thank you so much.
Cool. So thanks a lot. Thank you for listening and for not falling asleep. I haven't seen any of you falling asleep, but I must tell you, I actually sometimes fall asleep at meetings and when I'm listening to lectures. So I'm glad you didn't. So here's my LinkedIn profile. You can find me there. I'm going to ask you one thing. If you ever achieve anything in your life that you're proud of, and you think that what I was talking to you about today helped you in any way, then please tell me about this. It will make me happy. And that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm here. I'm here to inspire you. I'm here to help you. And I'm here to like contribute to building the generation of tech leaders in Uganda. So thank you again.
Please give us a quick introduction in terms of staff selection and staff in our diagnostic society.
Kenya presentation, but my name is Trevor Saka. I'm a Kenya student. I was just finished his degree in Bachelor of Science and Management here. I'm very passionate about coding and AI. And I'm glad to be a part of this session. Thank you so much.
Absolutely great, but is really very since just finished the second. I'm also passionate about machine. This
Afternoon. My name is Temple Manisha. I do computer science, year 2, and I'm also passionate about AI. Hey everyone, my name is just completed my bachelor's in computer science. I'm also passionate about AI and science. Culture shape people need to hear it. All right, first I want to ask one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Not quite, right? 1, 2, 3. No, 3.
Look like I am control.
Hey guys, can someone hear me? Hello, hello.
Hey, Mateo, I can hear you.
Hey. So the guys online can hear me. That's great. Now I'm looking for the guys in the room. And I hear myself 3 times.
Yeah, we can hear you.
This one or this one?
Just give 3 minutes. Wait for the team to come back.
Okay. Okay. Oh, now you mute me. Okay, got it.
You can go.
Can I talk? Is that okay? When you speak, Mansoor, I hear the echo, but can I talk right now? I am well heard in the room.
Yeah, you can speak. I'm going to mute from this side.
Okay. Guys, welcome to you all. And if there is any, I'm speaking in the, see if I can, oh, there we go. I can see. Okay, I'm making a test. The guys in the room, raise both of your hands and say hi. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you guys are hearing me. That's great. Okay, so my name is Matteo Rizzi. I am the founder of Time Pledge, and hopefully the reason why you guys are sitting around this virtual table. And I welcome you to the beginning of the first ever course, Time Pledge course. It won't be long. I won't be. And I met half of you in that famous lunch that I enjoyed very much. I'm coming back to Kampala in 4 weeks from now, and I will invite you all to lunch again so I can meet the second half, as well as get the first feedback of you guys of the first weeks of the program. The message is very simple. I frankly thought that it would have been easier and way more complicated than what it was, but it was more complicated than expected to find the best 30-ish students for this program. I thought we would have had 400 applicants, and we would have needed to say a lot of no's. Lucky you guys, we had just about the right number for which we got the first budget for. That means 2 things. First of all, that you had the courage to accept the fact that this is going to be extra work for you. For some of you in parallel with the university, for some other in parallel with maybe the first job that you're having. But let me tell you something. The reason why we created Time Pledge is the fact that there are a lot of very cool opportunities of successfully funded startups across Africa that need talent and are hiring people outside the continent because they cannot find the right ones. The reason why the cool jobs today are not available to the random or the lambda students coming out from university is because, first of all, you don't know them. And I'm making a test. You see this? Can you read this? This logo is called NALA. So NALA is, who knows NALA? Do you want to raise hands? Some of you? I can't see any hands raised. Okay, so, and even if you're online, you can unmute yourself, say, yes, I do. But Nala is a remittances company that helps people like me who doesn't have a mobile wallet in any African countries to pay like a local person in some 13 countries in Africa. So I can charge my Nala app with my Apple Pay, and then I come to Kampala and I can pay any mobile wallet, or I can pay with M-Pesa in Kenya. So Nala has raised $40 million last year, and they need to hire a couple of hundred very good coders in the next 24 months. They cannot find this talent in Africa. So this is one example of an opportunity that is in our network. And I will be glad to connect the guys that are, and the ladies and the guys that are out of our upskilling program to these type of opportunities. So this is the first thing you need to retain. So the reason why you're in and you're putting in these extra hours of work is because at the end of it, there are true good opportunities of work, okay, that are above the average salary, hopefully, but most importantly, there are also for companies that are not the usual suspects, the bank or the basic jobs that, that put a post, on a job post on LinkedIn. Okay. The second message, super important, is that I looked at 15 of you. I don't know if 15 or 17, maybe Teddy and Mansour can remind me, but at least 15 of you. I look all of you in the eyes and I told you, you are not allowed to drop. So now I virtually look in everyone's eyes because you're very far and the other ones, I can't see their faces. And you need to commit with me, with the team, and with yourself to finish what you're starting today. There is no drop off. And if you feel doubtful, if you have a personal issue, come talk to Mansour or to Teddy or to me and share it. Because on one side, we have to be respectful of the people who accepted to fund this program. And I think that it is an opportunity of a lifetime to have not only the opportunity to get upskilled, but as well to get connected to a type of opportunities that are not your everyday job. So I won't say anything else. I will be happy to meet all of you. I believe is going to be in around the 20-something of June, but is roughly in a bit more of a month from now. I hope that most of you won't skip a single one of the classes that the teachers are going to give you. I want to thank Mansour and Teddy to have organized this gathering, and Borek to share this story earlier on. I only stayed for the first 10-15 minutes. And by the way, you live literally 15 minutes from where my kids live in Bellegarde. So we'll still totally have the opportunity to meet up if, when you're back in France. And thank you very much. So I wish you all the courage, the grit, and the perseverance, okay, to get to the end of it. And we will build together great things. Thank you. I'm happy to take one or two questions if there is one, but I'm not sure if logistically it's feasible. Mansoor, you tell me. And also from people online.
Maybe later.
No, I think there is a lot of echo because there are a lot of Mansoor connected, so it might be complicated. You know what? It doesn't matter. You keep your questions, all of you, because I'm going to see all of you in a month from now. So we'll have a great lunch and a Q&A session, and I want to get your candid feedback and also all your motivations and the question you wanted to ask today. Write them down, and we'll talk about it in 5 weeks from now. Great. Thank you, guys. Good luck and enjoy lunch.
All right. Bye.
Down, step from the podium. Yes. Down, in your Are you no. Five. Super. Now, the real world, virtual work, and you don't know who you're going to, right? Unless it's a family company. That is only run by big boys. But then now, anybody can work. But you're all there in the company to fulfill one objective, right? So now, our team bonding is supposed to help us coordinate and win as
No.
The goal is to work together. Doesn't matter even if you're two or three, you can have a startup of one person. Well, the number, that's the So we are going to do what is called 2-2. So 1 and 2 are going to compete. And 4 are going to compete. Yeah. Line up there. You wait. You're going to watch. Okay? Watch. And so if one of you is going to be a captain.
Yes.
You're going to be a captain. Stand in front of your portrait. Your opponent. Are we watching? Okay. So this is called, most times called the cup game of teammates, right? We all went to baby class. Who didn't go to baby class?
A lot.
Or middle class, or top. Everyone, right? So we all know where head, shoulder, knees, and toes are, right? Great. Well, let's stretch a bit because this is going to be hot. Yeah, so exercise head, yeah, shoulders, waist, knees, and toes. We have 5 bottom, right? We have 5 body parts. Good? So now, I say head. You're the captain, you're going to be helping me when you take. Whoever, so when I say all that, yeah, that is normal, we all know. But when I say bottom, so the lesson here is you have to listen and pay attention. Right? Head, shoulder, knees, toes, whatever. Bottom. Now, if you did the team that picks the most bottom when I say bottom wins. Yeah? Yes? Yes. Just if you both stretch it together, don't go rugby. You can stress yourselves. No rules. Stress yourself. No, good one. You and her are competing for this bottle. You are not competing. I want to see who is not listening and who is fast and quick to react. Yeah? Are we ready? Yeah. Yeah, let's jog a bit. Yes. Head, knees, shoulders, toes, head, shoulder, waist, knees, toes, head, waist,
When is it coming?
shoulders, bottom. Keep it in your hand. Yeah, I'm counting the team that took the most votes. Yeah? So we are going for 2 games. You see, one more draw. Yeah? Put it down. Now we are fresh, right? Good. Now stand straight, stand straight, stand straight. Head, shoulder, waist, knees, toes. Knees, waist, head, waist, knees, bottom. So let's go. One for the road now. Let's go. Now the last one. The last one. This is the moment, guys. You want to take home a win, or you want to say try? Let's go. Head, toes, knees, waist, shoulder, toes, bottom. Okay, let's give a hand to us. Great job. Great. The losing team here. Come. The losing team. Everybody come pick one. Better luck next time. The caption says, a four-leaf clover for good luck. So wish you good luck next time. Never stop trying. You did amazing. Okay, Captain? You take both presents.
Oh, both, okay. You.
The winners get the
Yeah,
award.
the winners.
It says, you really shine. Congratulations. Congratulations. Team 1 and 2, are we ready?
Yes.
You ready? This is the moment. I hope you did practice.
Yes.
Great. Where are my bottles? These bottles are not for sale. Let's line up in front of each other. If you're 6, 5, 5. Then join here.
Yeah, I joined here. Just show them how to be.
Yes, you're number 6. Everyone have this one. Okay, we're ready. We've seen it already, right? We just need to. You're competing with me, but you have to make your team win. Have to don't focus on what is in front of you. Focus on the goal.
Maybe they extend a bit, get more space.
Ready? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, let's stretch. I don't want to play. Oh, I've got a muscle. Oh, my legs hard. Yeah? We ready? Head, shoulder, waist, knees, toes. Head, waist, knees, toes. Head. Hey guys, you're very slow. Let's catch up the pace. Hey, you have to come back, stand straight. You'll be eliminated. Stand straight. Straight. When I say head, you have to head us to look at your neighbor. Like this. It's a straight start. Yeah? Head, look at your opponent.
Yeah, let's go.
Head, shoulder, waist, toes, head, toes, head, waist, head, toes, bottom. Now, turn side. Yeah, shift. Come on, guys, it's one. You either give them a draw. Yeah, that's great. Head, toes, waist, knees, head, waist, knees, toes, head, eye contact.
We won. I mean. Do I get another one? Over winning?
No. Great. Thank you, everybody.
To have a technical session.
Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Let's see what I can do. Mansoor, if you can hear me, can you let me know? I don't know if you can hear me. Hello? Testing, testing.
Yeah, Oscar, yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, you can hear me. So,
So
awesome.
maybe
Yes, we can hear you.
okay.
Awesome. Let me just deliver a quick presentation and then we can move on to cannot share. I'm going to request. Whoever is the owner of this Zoom call, could you give me rights to share my screen? If not, it's not really a big deal, but it would be slightly easier. However, I can just start without it, to be honest, for now.
You can share.
I can share now. Yay, okay, awesome. Let's see if I can. Do this. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
So hi, my name is Asker. I'm going to be your main tutor for this after AFTA or after course for machine learning and AI. I'm going to be assisted with Bernard, who's doing admin, Moses, who's a teaching assistant, and Sheila, who's also a teaching assistant. And welcome. We're about to embark on a long journey, and hopefully you enjoy it with me. Let me just kind of give you a bit of a taste of what you are going to be doing and just give you an overview before we move on to more technical stuff like to device setup today. So by the end of this course, you will have built, all of you have built a full functioning agentic AI. You will have deployed it to a remote server somewhere else. You don't necessarily need to know exactly where it is. It's going to be hosted by Azure, and other people will be able to access it and use it. You will use Docker to containerize it. You will write you will use LangChain and LangGraph to create the agent itself. Along the way, you will be using some other smaller tools such as Streamlit, Pandas, Doc Compose, and Traffic, and anything else that you think is actually going to be appropriate as well. You are absolutely welcome to use different tools if you think they are better, but these are the bare minimum of what you want to do. So the level of skill for this cohort is very diverse. It's very large variance in terms of the experience people have. So I'm aware that some people might find things a bit easier than others. And for that, we've actually prepared extra material, which you will have to do, you can do along the way. And during that, you will be able to fine-tune an LLM model using datasets from Hugging Face, and also potentially running your own models, or run your own AI models using PyTorch. The way the lessons will go is that we will run 3 lessons a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, normally, from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. However, this week, because it's the first week and because we had to change schedule slightly due to the kickoff, this week specifically, we're going to be running 2 sessions on Thursday and Friday. Hopefully this is it, and I look forward to meeting you all and start getting deep into it straight up on Thursday. One advice and one big advice I can tell you is that the best teacher you can have is always you. You are always going to be very encouraged to ask to try and find out more information by yourself. You are especially even more encouraged to work in pairs or in groups to share knowledge between each other. I find that to be the best way to learn, is when peers work together and share their knowledge. And now we're going to move on to device setup with Moses.
All right, thank you so much for that. Yeah, they are ready for the device setup.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, we can hear you.
My name is Michael Moses. I'm a generative AI dev, and I'll be the teaching assistant. So I don't know if you all have access to the Notion page about setting up a device.
I believe most of them have not yet opened it. You can just maybe take them through how they will have to navigate and what they need to set up.
Okay, let me share my screen.
All right.
Okay. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
So on the get started part, are you all there? Hello?
Hello. Yes, we can hear you.
I want us to move together. Are you all here?
Okay, let me get the link to like WhatsApp. Have you shared that to their email? Their emails? Okay.
Okay, let me share the link.
Share the link on WhatsApp, then I can get it to them.
Can you add me as admin African Talent, please?
Pardon?
Can you add me as an admin to the African Talent Academy? The group.
I'm not getting you clear.
I would like you to add me as an admin in African Talent Academy so I can share the Notion page.
Okay. Send it to my inbox. That will be good. Just send it to my.
Okay, let me do that.
Okay, I've got it.
Can you all access it?
Give us like 3 minutes only.
Okay.
We're not able to access. You also send on your email.
Yeah, you can hear me. I've sent them, can't access the page without getting invited. There's a bit of an echo, but what I'm saying is that you can't access the page without getting invited because it's been said that way. But I've sent each and every one of you an email with an invite for the Notion page. So if you check your emails, I think you can find that.
Once you have all access, please let me know so I can proceed.
Okay, we can get started.
Okay, so let's proceed. Are you all in this page?
You can just move slowly, then they will follow up, right? Not everyone is online. And
okay. So the next step is in this first card, navigate to it. There's a lot of echo. So you'll have to scroll down. Up to step 5, where they say device setup. So I assume you all know how to use VS Code.
First, wait like 2 minutes. Wait 2 minutes. Okay, you can go on now.
Okay. So I'll assume you all know how to use VS Code, right?
Yeah, most of them are well conversant with it.
So I'll proceed setting up Docker container. So the first step on installing Docker container, navigate to docker.com. You can press the link in the Notion page, this link. And if you're using Linux, let me send the link, let me send the PDF showing how to install Docker on this Linux distribution.
I think just do a demo. Just do a demo and be able to follow up later on, because it may take some time for those that don't have it downloaded. Just do a demo on the screen. They will be able to.
The demo is that I'm on Ubuntu. I don't think most of you are using Ubuntu OS. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think there's a video in the Notion which is well explained. And if there's any issue, please feel free to consult. Is that okay? Hello.
Yes, please.
there's a video in the Notion page which explains how to install Docker on Windows in Windows 11.
Yeah.
And since I'm not on Windows, I won't be able to do a demo. I'm on Ubuntu distro. So please follow the video keenly, and if there's any issue, feel free to consult. Is that okay?
Okay, that's okay. Firstly, please, Mr. Otemajen, can you mute yourself just a bit? I think the echo is coming from your side.
So set up a device. All the tools required have detailed instructions on how to set them up in your PC. Please kindly follow them thoroughly because also what we'll be using for the entire bootcamp session. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. So what we're going to do, we're going to help them set up, follow the Notion page and they set up those tools. Then for those who are online, follow that link and you try to make sure that you have all those tools installed and also set up on your computer. Yeah, but for now, from now up to 1:20 p.m., we are going to help the ones which are available physically to set up their devices. Then, yeah, we shall go for lunch. We shall have closing remarks, then we go for lunch. Okay.
Good, good. And the main problem
Yeah.
First of all, of course, I want all of us to clap for ourselves. Please. Every step of the way. It helps a lot. It builds your moral posture. It keeps you spirit up. It keeps you going every minute because you will not get support from somebody if you yourself get support. So with that, I want to once again thank Daniel for every minute you spent with us. We appreciate it. We know you would have loved to be somewhere else, but we're glad you chose us. And for all of you for coming, yeah, I can't be more grateful. Remember, you need to show up. Just opportunities don't just come for you. You have to go for them. And from the moment you signed up for this, you signed up for everything that comes with it, and for showing up for all those online as well. Yes, next time I hope to see you all in person. What else? What I wanted to say? Who doesn't know me? I saw the first meeting group, the next meeting I did to you guys. Well, very simple. My name is Teddy Lam, I'm a teddy bear. And I've been running the template in Master Wonder and being in the talent team. I would say that I do a lot of other things, which is many. I studied here, spent 4 years at ZEDET, so engineering student at heart, but the world got very big when I got out there, so I expanded my horizons. Went to, I think now I'm at 2024, so seeing the world doing very many different things. Most importantly, I do business relations. An American company, and then also together with my sister, we run an NGO that helps youth in Islam communities, Katanga, Katue, with basic computer training. So during holidays when kids are out, we take the computers to them because they cannot come to where the computers are. So that is fun, and please, if you have free time during the holidays, feel free to join the volunteer. It's fun. The kids are 8 to 16, so you can talk with them as well. Yeah. Anything else you wish to know? Questions for me specifically? No? Yeah, please.
No, thank you. I think mine would be success stories of the online relationship. And success stories of the online.
So you would like to say you're very lucky you're actually the first cohort for this program. So you're the very unfortunate 30, the very first. So you're gonna be our pioneers, you are gonna be the success stories. That's why we're gonna have you up every step of the way. Any help you need, just feel free to ask. We're here to support you, and we're grateful to our sponsors, our partners, and of course, McCary University as well, through our College of Courses and Center for Progress coming in for us for events. Yes. Any other question?
Maybe following that, you are the first cohort for Africa Talent.
It's been accessed since 2019, and we've been mostly operating in West Africa. So mostly training entrepreneurs, soft skills, or bootstrapping, fundraising, pitching, how to pitch investors. But then we're now coming back to the basics because we're lacking students to actually pass this future skills on, the soft skills on, because we're still missing the foundation of why we're teaching. So that makes you. Yes. Well, since no one has a question, I always have a game. Who is ready to play? Before we go for lunch, I need to make you guys very hungry. Who is ready to play? I am. Are we now downloading? Are we done downloading? Yeah? If not, you can leave the computers there. I just step out to this. Please. Let's get back to the dance floor. Hello, can you see some movement? Can I have everybody here?
Okay, you can leave the computer.
Just leave the computers there. You go back and
You'll be able to set up. Already, let's say, most of them bring
we have 5 minutes. If you want it, I want you to use it.
Yeah, more communication about the program will be done. And then we shall also make a group of like everyone to that next time it's so some related to that program.
No, I have to just side here, then we'll check and we'll add. Has everybody guessed it? Yeah? Can I have everybody here? We have 3 minutes. Form a batch and start. The same technique like we did before. It's just listening and quick thinking. Yeah. Your computer students, you need to be sharp all the time on the point. Let's come here. Why are not the other two ones on their feet? Get on our feet. After this, we pass it. How did you do the previous meeting? All right, so we have 4. You don't need to be in groups, just scatter around. Come on, guys, spread. Okay, I'm going to spread naturally. So, when I say clap, put it in. Clap, right? Clap. Clap. Walk. Come on, guys, walk. Yeah, walk. Stand. Super. Jump. Jump. Okay. So now I'm going to, when I say clap, so let's go. Clap, 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 stand, jump, walk, clap. Next. When I say yeah. Okay. You hear the word walk, stand. And let's first start with the clap. Okay? Jump. Stand. Walk. Dance. Guys, you're not dancing. Just dance. What are you saying? But I said clap. What? I didn't say clap. Yeah, let's do walk, dance, jump, dance, clap. If you do the other, you get eliminated. Now the eliminated part, let's see who's the most attentive performer. It's a prize to win. Okay. So now, when I say walk, start. We're there? No, it's on top of the clap. First, leave the not clap because okay, leave the not clap, okay? When I say clap, you clap. Okay, so we are going to go again. Clap, clap, walk.
Result.
Stand, clap, clap, dance, down, walk. I think another chance. Okay. Now, when I say down, dance. When I say jump, dance. When I say jump, you dance. When I say dance, you dance. Okay? Jump and dance that are changed and walking, right? You're following. Walking will change you. So, what kind of big limit is that? Clap, clap, jump. You have to continue that until you hear that you should follow if you want to speak out. Clap, jump. Clap, jump, dance, stand. Okay, the last one, we are going to do 3 things in a row. But you haven't been eliminated yet. The first part hasn't come. Clap. What's laughing? You continue down. Clap. Okay, stand, jump. Okay, now I want us to go. Oh no, also. Oh, no one is just Now, the clock. Okay. Jump. Dance. Walk. Dance. Fine. The only thing that stays in this, let's start. Okay. Clap. Keep your hands out from your hand. Your hand. Down. Standing. It's supposed to be a dance. Why are you not dancing? Jump. Dance. Dance. Clap. Walk. Now stand and walk. Stand, It's the only thing that hasn't changed. Walk. Stand. Clap. Jump. What is standing? Let's dance and walk. Walk. Okay, clap. Dance. 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 Guys, you can dance. You know how you can dance. Something like. Stop. Walk. Jump. Dance. Stop. Dance. Stop. Dance. You talk too much. Walk. Dance. You have to be very honest with yourself and say, ah, I did this. Okay, dance. Stop. Walk. Why are you dancing on one? One, six. Stand. We are almost there. Lunch is coming. Stand. Stop. Walk. Dance. Jump. For your dance moves. They can tell me to sleep here. Okay, walk. Let's walk further. Walk over here. I need you guys to face up. No, I think we're going to tell the message. Walk. Jump. Stop. Jump. You are standing. Yeah, I want you. Let's face that. I need to see that. Stand here. Stand here. That's fast. Jump around like that. You know that God is not to look at me. But me, I want to ready. Yeah. Jump. Clap. Stand. She overcome. All right. Congratulations. So always winning. You won before. I have something for you. Hope you great. Great job, guys.
Those who are online on Zoom, we are going to end the session here. We are done with the activities and we're just going to take a group photo and have lunch. So thank you for joining. Follow more information in the group. Follow up for more information in our group.